I'm 42. Married for 13 years. 2 kids. A mortgage that always felt heavier than it should. Until last year, my life was aggressively normal. Weekend soccer games. Costco runs. Sex that was predictable but comforting. I used to think boring was a blessing. My wife, Laura, handled most of the house stuff. She had a good eye for design, always scrolling furniture sites, watching makeover shows. I trusted her taste. I trusted her, period. The story I'm about to tell still feels fake when I reread it in my head, like something pulled from a bad Reddit post I used to read out of morbid curiosity. I never thought I'd be the guy posting one. This all started with a couch. Our old sectional was falling apart. Springs stabbing through cushions. Laura said she found a place downtown with amazing deals if you talk to the right people. I laughed. Said sure. Whatever saves money. At the time, I had no idea that sentence would come back to haunt me. Life felt stable. Solid. I didn't know the floor was already gone beneath my feet. The furniture store became a running joke. Laura went there a lot. They're updating inventory, she'd say. Or, the salesman texted me, said there's a promotion coming. I didn't think twice. I was drowning in work and deadlines and parenting fatigue. Red flags don't arrive with sirens. They arrive disguised as convenience. She started dressing nicer on those days. Nothing dramatic. Just intentional. Perfume she hadn't worn in years. Lipstick on a Tuesday afternoon. I noticed, but I liked it. Thought maybe we were entering some kind of second honeymoon phase. She talked about the salesman casually. Mark said this. Mark can get us another 15% off. She said his name like he was an appliance. Once I joked, damn, maybe I should marry Mark instead. She laughed a little too hard. Then changed the subject. At night, she was distant. Not cold. Just elsewhere. Scrolling, smiling at her phone, turning it face down when I walked in. I told myself I was paranoid. Marriage does that to you. Makes you doubt your instincts so you don't rock the boat. I wish I had rocked it sooner. The first real crack appeared in the form of a receipt. I was organizing paperwork when I noticed the numbers didn't add up. The amazing deal she bragged about wasn't that amazing. In fact, it was barely a discount. When I asked her about it, she shrugged. Said taxes, delivery fees, whatever. I let it go. Again. Looking back, what scares me most is how cooperative I was with my own deception. She started going out. To check on the order. Sometimes late. Sometimes with an excuse that didn't quite fit. He said I should come by before closing. Who is he, and why does it sound intimate? I remember lying in bed one night, staring at the ceiling, feeling that quiet dread bloom in my chest. The kind you don't want to name because naming it makes it real. I didn't snoop. I didn't confront. I didn't ask hard questions. I told myself trust meant silence. Turns out silence just gives secrets room to stretch their legs. The turning point was stupidly mundane. Laura left her phone on the kitchen counter while she took a shower. It buzzed. Once. Twice. A third time. I wasn't trying to spy. I swear. I just glanced. The preview showed a name I recognized. Mark. Last time was worth every penny. Winky face. My stomach dropped so fast I thought I might throw up. I didn't unlock the phone. Didn't need to. My brain filled in the blanks with cruel efficiency. When she came out, towel around her hair, humming, I just stared at her. She asked what was wrong. I asked very calmly, "What promotion did you get from Mark?" She froze. Just for a second. But it was enough. Then came the sigh. The kind you give when you're tired of lying. "It's not what you think," she said. Every betrayed spouse knows that sentence is a lie before it finishes leaving the mouth. The revelation didn't come all at once. It leaked out in pieces, like poison seeping through cracks. She admitted she'd slept with him. Once at first. then twice. Then she stopped counting. It was just sex, she said. I didn't have feelings. I laughed. A sharp, ugly sound I didn't recognize as my own. You fucked a stranger to save us money on a couch? She flinched. Corrected me. He's not a stranger. That hurt more than the sex. She said it like a defense. Like knowing his middle name made it better. Then she said the line I'll never forget. It was basically a promotion. I stared at her. A promotion for what? She whispered. For us. The promotion was personal. Her words burned into my brain. I felt humiliated. Not just betrayed, but cheapened. Like my marriage had a price tag and I hadn't even negotiated. I went outside and threw up in the yard. Our neighbor waved. I waved back. That's what betrayal looks like sometimes. Smiling while your insides dissolve. The immediate aftermath was chaos. I yelled. Then I went numb. Then I yelled again. It came in waves. Anger, disbelief, heartbreak, shame, all overlapping like static. She cried. A lot. Big, gasping sobs. She kept saying she was sorry, that it just happened. That phrase made me see red. Nothing just happens. That requires a hotel room and deleting text messages. I asked if she used protection. She said yes. I asked if she loved him. She said no. I asked if she'd stop seeing him. She hesitated. That hesitation did more damage than the affair itself. I slept on the couch. Ironically, the old broken one. Springs digging into my back. It felt poetic in a way I didn't ask for. I kept replaying our life, searching for the exact moment I became optional. The kids noticed something was wrong. I lied to them. Told them Mommy and Daddy were tired. I'd never felt more tired in my life. The confrontation stretched over days, not hours. Every conversation felt like walking through broken glass barefoot. She tried to explain. I tried to understand. Neither of us succeeded. She said she felt invisible, unwanted. Like I stopped seeing her as a woman and only saw her as a mom. Some of that might even be true. That's the part that eats at me. But then she said something unforgivable. He made me feel chosen. Chosen. As if I hadn't been choosing her every day for over a decade. She minimized it. Compared it to flirting. Said I was overreacting. Then, when that didn't work, she collapsed into guilt and begged me not to tell anyone. Please, she said. If people know, it'll ruin everything. I thought, you already did. Friends texted, asking if we were okay. Apparently she'd been down lately. I was the villain in her version. Isolation settled in. Heavy and cold. I stopped recognizing myself in the mirror. Just a man hollowed out by someone he trusted most. The emotional impact didn't hit all at once. It crept in. I couldn't sleep. When I did, I dreamed of furniture showrooms with locked doors and laughter behind them. I obsessed over details. What did he look like? Was he better? Younger? Did she laugh with him the way she used to laugh with me? I hated myself for caring. There was guilt too. A sick, confusing guilt. Like maybe I'd failed some unspoken test. Like if I'd been more attentive, this wouldn't have happened. Love doesn't disappear just because trust does. That's the cruel part. Some days I missed her so badly it hurt to breathe, even though she was sitting 10 feet away. Other days I couldn't stand the sound of her voice. I felt trapped between wanting to punish her and wanting to protect our family from the fallout. Therapy was suggested. I nodded. Never called. I didn't know who I was supposed to be now, husband, victim, or obstacle to her happiness. The consequences were quiet but relentless. She cut off contact with him. At least, she said she did. I never checked. Part of me was afraid of what I'd find. Trust didn't just break. It evaporated. Every late text. Every delayed response. Every trip to the store became suspicious. I became someone I didn't like. Paranoid. Bitter. Constantly scanning for danger. Our intimacy died. Touch felt loaded. I flinched when she reached for me, then hated myself for flinching. The kids sensed the tension. Our home felt colder. Less safe. Work suffered. I missed deadlines. My boss pulled me aside. Asked if everything was okay. I almost told him. Almost told everyone. But shame has a powerful gag reflex. Family gatherings became unbearable. I watched her laugh with relatives and wondered who else she could lie to so easily. The couch finally arrived. Brand new. Perfect condition. I couldn't sit on it without feeling sick. There was no dramatic ending. No suitcase thrown. No screaming match in the rain. Just erosion. We tried. Working on it. Date nights that felt forced. Conversations that circled the same wounds without healing them. She wanted forgiveness. I wanted certainty. Neither of us could provide what the other needed. One night, months later, I asked her a question I'd been avoiding. If there was no discount, would you have still done it? She didn't answer right away. That pause was my answer. I moved into the guest room. Then eventually into a small apartment across town. We told the kids it was temporary. Maybe it was. Maybe it still is. Some days I think I could forgive her. Other days I think forgiveness would mean erasing myself. I don't hate her. That almost makes it worse. The love didn't die. It just became something sharp and unsafe to hold. Living alone gave me too much time to think. I replayed everything. Every ignored red flag. Every moment I chose comfort over confrontation. I learned that betrayal doesn't just break trust in others. It breaks trust in yourself. I stopped believing my own judgment. Every decision felt suspect. Dating was impossible. How do you explain that kind of damage to a stranger without sounding unhinged? Friends eventually noticed. I told a sanitized version. We grew apart. People nodded. Easy lie. Socially acceptable. Laura and I still talk. Mostly about the kids. Occasionally about us. She says she's changed. That she understands the damage now. Maybe she does. Maybe she always did. I wonder sometimes if I'll wake up at 60 and still feel this echo in my chest. The promotion cost more than money. It cost innocence. Security. A version of myself I'll never get back. I don't know if that price was worth it. I know it wasn't my choice. I've thought about posting this for months. There's something oddly comforting about anonymity. About screaming into the void and hoping someone hears it and says, "Yeah, me too." I don't need advice. I don't need judgment. I just need the truth to exist somewhere outside my head. Infidelity isn't always about lust. Sometimes it's about entitlement. About thinking you deserve something at someone else's expense. I still love my wife. I also resent her. Both are true. That contradiction lives in me now. I've learned that discounts can be expensive. That just sex can dismantle an entire life. If you're reading this and ignoring a red flag because it's inconvenient, please don't. Silence doesn't protect love. It just protects lies. I don't know how this ends. I only know how it feels. And it feels like standing in a beautifully furnished room that no longer feels like home. Sometimes I imagine confronting Mark. Saying something clever. Something devastating. But the truth is, he's irrelevant. He was a symptom, not the disease. The hardest part is accepting that the person who hurt me most is also the person who once made me feel safest. That duality messes with your head. I've stopped blaming myself for her choices, but I haven't stopped questioning myself for trusting her. Maybe that's the final consequence, learning that trust is always a risk, no matter how long you've known someone. I don't know if we'll divorce. I don't know if we'll reconcile. All I know is that the version of marriage I believed in is gone. Replaced by something fragile. Conditional. Real. If you asked me a year ago what could destroy my marriage, I would have said money problems, illness, tragedy. I wouldn't have said a couch. Life has a cruel sense of irony like that. I still avoid furniture stores. The smell, the lighting, the fake smiles. It all makes my chest tighten. Objects carry memories, whether we want them to or not. Sometimes Laura asks if I'll come back. I tell her I don't know. That's the most honest answer I have. I'm not healed. I might never be. But I'm learning to sit with the discomfort instead of pretending it doesn't exist. This story doesn't have a clean ending. Most real ones don't. If there's a lesson, it's this: intimacy isn't just physical. Betrayal isn't just sex. It's every lie told to protect a choice you know is wrong. I hope one day I'll read this and feel distance instead of pain. For now, it's just a confession. One I carried alone for too long. If you made it this far, thanks for listening. Writing this didn't fix anything. But it made it real. I'm still figuring out who I am without the illusion I lived in for so long. Some days I feel strong. Other days I feel like a fool. Both can coexist. If you're in a relationship, talk. Ask the uncomfortable questions. Don't assume love is enough to keep people honest. And if you've been betrayed, know this: the confusion, the anger, the longing, none of it makes you weak. It makes you human. I don't know what the future holds for my marriage. I only know that trust, once sold for a discount, is almost impossible to buy back. And that's a cost no promotion can justify.